Alrighty. One minute. All the blinds are still open.
One jug of milk at the store.
Is that all there is? Probably.
It remind you of the Depression?
I don't remember those days, Randy.
Those were the
I
good
know I'm
old,
getting up there.
those were the good old days.
Call the meeting to order. I want to acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral territory of the Upper Similkameen Indian Band. Adoption of the agenda.
Make that motion.
Thanks you, Councillor Gould.
Second on this,
Seconder,
Mayor.
Councillor Willis. Any additions? Councillor Gould.
Just a request from the Princeton Pickleball Association. We'll discuss it after theirs.
Okay,
11.1.
that'll be 11.1.
Sorry?
In regards to the request, that they're, from their delegation, there's a request in there that needs to come onto the agenda.
Okay.
It's not on here?
Okay, sorry, something in my eye.
What is 4.2?
That's
the
just a
delegate.
delegation.
That's a delegation.
Do we need a motion to accept as amended?
Can I make the motion?
Sure. Gould, seconder. McLean, all in favor of the amendment? So carried. All in favor of the agenda? Thank you. Carried. Adoption of the minutes from the December 6th, 2021 regular meeting of council.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Elliott. Seconder. Councillor Willis. Heirs or omissions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Delegations. It's all yours.
I'm here representing the Princeton Pickleball Association. I'd like to thank everybody here for your service. The society has fulfilled the recommendation provided by council and the resolution coordinator.
Don't mind James.
I'm sorry. Direct line with one. So we are requesting town's assistance in the forming of the 2022 co-op grant application to ensure its success. With your financial and logistical support, we will be highly competitive with other communities on these applications. The co-op grant application specifically states that only application for proper documentation included at time of submission will be considered. We request that the court shall not locate it on a floodplain. Lower field at Memorial Park is on a floodplain and has a high fluctuating water table. We are requesting a funding commitment of $25,000 from the town and $25,000 from the RDOS. The funding surety would show that the town is endorsing the project and will commit its share of the eligible cost. Let the town create a funding agreement between the town and the association for the provisions of funding up to $25,000 to be included in the 2022 budget, subject to the association receiving funding from the co-op community spaces grant. We are asking for a commitment from town in the support of our society. Lacrosse box versus pickleball hub. There's a study that Tennis BC and Pickleball CPDC have worked over the past year to analyze the issues, research best practices, and produce a recommendation
Councillor Gould.
Mr. Pederson, has the Pickleball Association also sent the request to the regional district? Okay, so I'm not sure when their budget meetings would be, but a letter will need to go to them directly. We can't submit that for you.
Our original proposal went to the regional district, and our president did talk to Coyne.
Okay, okay. So I just wanted to be sure that you're aware that that would need to be separate. And that would be what my motion to make the amendment was based on, was that there's an actual financial request for us to review for our 2022 budget. So I'll make that motion when the time comes. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have a question? Okay, thank you.
Can I make one more statement before we just go?
Sure.
Sorry. I'm just going to liberties. So the reason I believe, like, now it's been years that the pickleball has been in town and talk about doing courts, and then the main focus was on our having a recreation center, a facility built, and the new pickleball courts were going to be in there. So now I think it's just important that they do bring it forward to us and that we do have those discussions, which we did it during budget as well, for doing a study, a recreation study, so that we can determine the best location for it. I just want to make sure that it's on the forefront. So that's my comment.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Have a night.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Russ.
6, staff reports, 6.1, water line tenure over Crown land. Carrie, is this yours?
Yeah,
Can you turn your mic on?
this is just a, oh, sorry. This is just a renewal of a license of occupation with the province for the purpose of a water line. The water line is near the KVR over by the subway, and it's for a 30-year term.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions? Councillor McLean, or Elliot, sorry.
I'm just noticing it expired in 2018,
That is correct.
and we're just getting around to this now, or is it just? wasn't
Not
used?
us, that's the province, I
Sorry.
promise you that.
Okay, all right, so
We
it's an
do send
oversight.
renewals out to them and ask them if they would renew it, and their process is quite lengthy.
Okay, fair enough, that's all I
That's
need
right.
to know.
So moved.
Thank you. Councillor McLean, seconder. Councillor Willis, any questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.2, elimination of permit fees for flood recovery application. Oh, sorry. You don't have to go too far. CAO.
Yes, thank you. Council's been very supportive through this whole disaster, and in the interest of trying to look after the citizens. One of the things they did right off the bat was hire a restoration professional, Joe Wong. He's gone door to door to try and help people assess the damage and get on the right track as far as recovery goes. Another thing that staff has identified that council can do is encourage people to, when they do the rebuild, to take out a building permit. And I know that sounds like an ominous chore, but staff have come up with a sort of like a fast track application. And what we're suggesting to council is that in support of the people, that council waive the fee for the application. And that way people can be assured that what the work that they're doing in restoration is done properly. It's been inspected by our building inspector. It will add value to their homes when they go to, if they ever decide that they want to sell them. Many times when people are looking at homes in the Princeton area, they'll come into the town office and they'll ask if there's been any work done to the homes. And especially in a case like this where there's been homes damaged by flooding, we want to assure people or prospective buyers that the work has been done properly and it's been documented, and that'll be a historic record for that home going forward. So we really want to encourage people to do the right thing and take out a building permit, and we know that the council is very much in favor of that, and we're encouraging everyone to do it and know that the fees will be waived. There's no financial hardship to do that.
So just to clarify, that would be the houses that were done in the rapid assessment,
Yes,
correct?
exactly, the ones that have the rapid assessment cards on them. And then this will be, when you take out a building permit, that will then be exchanged for the card exchange for a building permit card instead.
Any questions?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Elliott.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Gould. Any further questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. We'll go get Councillor McLean and we'll. Okay. 6.3, appointment of chief election officer and deputy chief election officer, CAO.
I'll let Carrie speak to this one.
Okay.
She actually wrote the report.
January 1st, January 1st, we enter into the election year, and part of the process is for council to appoint a chief and deputy election officer. One of the reasons why we're doing it now is there is some training, workshops, some meetings with regional district that are coming up in January. We can start securing the location for voting and getting some employees and doing some training, so.
Okay, any questions?
I'll make the motion, Mr.
Thank you. Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor McLean, questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.4, BC EDA Economic Recovery Support. Gary.
So this is just a formality of asking to apply for, the province is looking to fund us for recovery for this, to bring in this economic disaster recovery team. It's a $50,000 proposal that they've submitted. In turn, I will turn around and submit this to our regional representative for funding and approval. It's pretty straightforward. It's to bring in this recovery team for, do the steps that you see on there. They've broken it down, and then there may be a bigger ask at the end of the day. I spoke with them today, and they think we should look for more possibly, but this is the initial steps to get this going.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor McLean?
It mentions businesses.
Yeah.
It's for the businesses. You saw that meeting
Just
you were
for
at?
businesses, not for,
This is for strictly for the businesses, yeah.
is there some word on whether for private flooded landowners, non-business, is there any word about the government coming forward in terms of,
This group is specifically business oriented, so it would be a totally different department.
okay,
So these guys will come in, and they've got some different procedures that they'll go through, and this could help us down the road when we're applying for grant funding, and this will be letters of support, and it'll further the direction we're going with our own economic development efforts here. So it'll be a good exercise to have them come in.
perfect, so moved.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Elliott, any questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.5, liquor license application, We Brew Craft Brewery, or Craft Company. Carrie?
So We Brew Craft Company, sorry. We Brew Craft Company located at 141 Bridge Street. They applied for a DP and DVP, and it was approved by council in March. This is just another part of the process, receiving or applying for their liquor license. We received the referral from the Liquor and Cannabis Regional Branch. Council is to consider the occupancy for the building, which they're requesting 84 people. The proposed hours for liquor sales, which they are proposing from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is the maximum allowable time for a craft brewery. It doesn't mean that that's what their hours are going to be. And that council support, I'm asking council to support the liquor license application for We Brew Craft Company.
Questions?
There was only the one letter.
Two letters that I had sent out to both of you, one from the property owner and one from a neighboring property. They came after the agenda was sent out, but I did forward it to all of council, and if you haven't had an opportunity to see it, I do have both of them here.
Councillor Gould?
So it's not on the live agenda either, right?
The
The two letters, yeah.
No.
It'll
So
be in the minutes.
just on that, then just speaking that the property owner said that their hours would not be that, just as you had mentioned. And then the one letter had said something about non-conforming of the property, the residential.
No, that was my question.
That was your question. Oh, okay. So it's a residential property next to it. When we already approved the support of the DVP and everything, we had already looked at the impact or potential impact in zoning within the area. And it's, this zoning conforms with the
Absolutely.
existing
Yeah.
official community plan,
It's the property next door with the residence. It's non-conforming.
which we had
it's-
already considered
Yeah,
Correct.
that at that time. So.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the property beside it is commercial property, although there is a residence on there. It's non-conforming, so they would not be able to get a building permit on and build a garage or anything. It would remain as commercial. I don't think staff would support changing it to residential as it's right on Bridge Street. Also, the residence is set back quite far on the property, and it's not right up against Bridge Street where the patio is going to be. The business owner has also indicated that he's going to do some sort of border on the patio side to reflect some of the noise that may be coming from the patio.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Make that motion. Oops, sorry.
Can that be required?
That he,
The last part is there.
if we were going to do that, we should have done that with the development permit process. This is strictly for approval and support of his liquor license.
This is the first time that came up after the process. Okay.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Willis. Seconder?
I'll make
Councillor
that
Gould.
motion.
Any further comment or questions? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Carried. Council reports. Councillor Willis.
I don't have any meetings to report at this time, but I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and yeah, I guess I have to leave.
Councillor Gould.
I missed I didn't miss. I wasn't in attendance for the last meeting. I just did it by phone, but I'm trying to think of everything I've done since, not actually a lot, but I did attend the pickleball AGM last week, and they actually have quite a big group of people that are involved in it, a very good, dedicated group. And other than that, we haven't had very many council meetings. And I also want to wish Merry Christmas, everyone, and our community.
Councillor Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tuesday, December 7th, I attended a Canadian Mental Health Association Zoom meeting. Sunday the 12th, I got to MC the Princeton Light Up Celebration, which was great to have a lot of people downtown and just, thinking about things other than what has been pretty much on everyone's minds up to that point. The 14th, I attended the Town of Princeton Christmas lunch here, and on the 15th, I attended the Princeton Healthcare Steering Committee Zoom meeting, and that's it.
Thank you. Councillor McLean.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. I guess I only got a couple things that off the top here. We're still working with the Ministry of, who are we working with right now? EMBC and the Ministry of NBC Housing to try to secure some interim housing over the winter. There's ongoing discussions there as who's going to pay for that. Ministry of Transportation, as you may have seen, is putting in stoplights. CAO can speak more to that, down on Highway 3 and Highway 5A. Coquihalla apparently open today. So we should see less transport trucks going through town, and we will see an increase in domestic travel, we'll call it, coming over the whole Princeton. So water, we have had the disinfecting done, and now we are waiting on 2 weeks, is it? 2 weeks of clean results before the health authority will allow us to downgrade to a boil water. So hopefully that'll happen, and we'll be slowly getting back to normal there. Red Cross has taken over ESS function, so our ESS is no longer looking after ESS. It's been contracted out to the Red Cross by the province, so that is no longer something that's in our wheelhouse. We had that economic development meeting with the group that Gary just spoke about up at Riverside. It was there was a good turnout. I think there was 41 people there, so that was really good. Joe's still in town, I believe, doing assistance, and there's a representative from the DFA as well there. So if you haven't registered through the Red Cross or for DFA at this point, and you're an evacuee, please do so. DFA is for primary residents. It's also for renters too, isn't it? Yeah. So renters and the homeowner. So you can qualify for up to 80% of your assessed value, I believe is the term. What else? I think I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch, but that's the main things we've been working on. Yeah, everything's still moving forward. A few little roadblocks, but for the most part, I think everything's moving forward. We're waiting to hear what's going to happen with the $5 billion that the province was given from the federal government for recovery. Our goal is to hopefully attain 1% of that money to help offset all of our costs. So that's all I got. Move on to number 8, correspondence receive and file. So there's a letter from SILGA Community Excellence Awards. Motion to receive and file. Thank you, Councillor McLean. Seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Gould. All in favor? Carried. Number 9, correspondence action requested. A call for resolutions, 9.1. Carrie, do you want to speak to that? You're writing it.
Every year, we get a letter from SILGA requesting resolutions from council. The resolutions then go to SILGA, to their convention, usually in April. They hopefully endorse it, and then it ends up going to the UBCM. And so with the event that just happened in our community and it being a flooding event, there's been some discussion on best practices as far as diking, dredging, and other options for flood mitigation. So we will look at doing some form of a resolution that we will bring back to the January meeting, and hopefully council will pass the resolution and we can start the process.
Questions? Motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Elliott, seconded by Gould. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. 9.2, Southern Ontario Local Government Association SILGA Convention call for nominations for 2022. We have nomination to nominate, or recommendation to nominate myself again for Director at Large. Thanks.
You don't have to excuse yourself, but we decide.
Do you want me to?
No? I'll second that.
Just go for it, sucker. Thanks. All in favor? Carried. Thank
What
you.
if I have a question?
Do you have a question?
I do.
Yeah?
Just curious, how much work did this add to your already busy plate?
Not much.
Okay.
There's about one meeting every 2 months until we get close to convention. And then I'm on a couple committees there, so resolutions committee and I think it's just mostly resolution. I can't remember all the committees I'm on. But they pick up for a couple weeks. We go through all the resolutions, vote on which ones we're gonna bring to the floor, or endorse, not endorse, and then everybody has a part to play at the convention, so.
Thank you.
It's fun. It's great being able to meet people from out of town and network with them, so.
Sure.
No bylaws, resolutions, new business, 11.1. Councillor Gould.
So in regards to the delegation that Mr. Pederson did today for the Princeton Pickleball Association, they had sent a package in before, and then they sent again now, and it does say in there what their ask is, and I think they're just not aware of what the process is. So my recommendation would be to refer their request for the $35,000 and support of their application to our 2022 budget.
So refer their request to budget.
Yep.
2022. So the motion would be refer Princeton Pickleball Association's request to the next budget meeting?
Yeah,
Next 2022 budget meeting.
yeah, because it's a co-op community spaces program grant.
Okay. We have a seconder? Do you want me to read the motion again?
So we talk about the 25,000 at the next budget?
Yep.
That's second one.
Okay, Gould, Willis. Questions? All in favor? Carried. Opposed? Okay. One opposed. Yep.
Should have made you vote.
I did.
You're not supposed to vote until you find out whether it's tied.
No.
Yes?
Nope, read the charter. Every vote is a vote, whether I put my hand up or not. If I don't put my hand up, it's automatically in the
Absolutely,
affirmative.
absolutely, but get it to that point where you have to say one
Well,
word.
there was only two hands up at the moment, so. Next is motion to close. Recommendation that the meeting be closed to the public for the purpose of considering the following: 90.1E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements, if the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas.